All right, guys. Welcome to the trade findings and adjustments for October 3rd. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We weren't able to get on a live session for some reason. For some reason, our uh, scheduled meetings were erased on our GoToMeeting. So, huge bummer. I was excited to hear your thoughts and questions, but since we don't have that, we're going to just go ahead and record this and see if we can't get it set out as soon as possible. So this is Kiev Bybee, of course. Today is, like I said, October 3rd. And I just wanted to go over really quick some of the thoughts I had, and looking at what our market is doing today. You've probably noticed it opened flat and headed low about a 0.5% on the S&P, and then kind of totally switched and reversed and is now positive. Mostly, I would say, from a technical bounce. But I kind of feel like it's a bit of a dead cat bounce, meaning that we'll probably have some more downward movement probably tomorrow, Friday. So you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Big bounce back to the positive down here. So quite a volatile day. So I think the temptation in a day like today is, oh, we found a bottom, now we're going to start heading up. We need to buy things and we need to find things at a discount and start getting into, cheaper opportunities that have sold off the last week, last few days at least. The problem is not a whole lot really has changed. I would say we're getting, again, a technical bounce. There isn't really amazing news that has changed. I think a couple of headlines I saw come by was stocks trading positive after being negative on news that, or I guess on hope that we'll see a rate cut. So let me get off of my drawing here. So here's the problem. Again, tomorrow, and let me get to our economic calendar. Problem is tomorrow we've got on October 4th our average work week numbers coming in, hourly earnings, average hourly earnings year over year, non-farm payrolls, trade balance. We have the Fed Chair Powell doing his little speech. It's not obviously it's not a rate decision. He just comes out and says a bunch of fluffy nonsense that there really isn't anything to concrete to I guess make a good decision from. He most likely isn't going to say anything in the way of rate cuts. That he just doesn't do that kind of stuff. And I think when people see that he's not really going to completely comment on it or give a real direction, surprise, surprise, that we'll see things continue to fall tomorrow. Obviously, I could be wrong, but it's not important because, you know, we're just in a period that it just doesn't make sense to, at least right now, today, or even tomorrow, to really be throwing on a bunch of new trades. But with that said, let's look at some of the things I've been looking at and go over them. So get these windows back up. So if you remember a couple, I guess last week, I had suggested this QQQ protective put. Kevin had decided to put a 10% limit order in to sell it off to book a profit. That got filled. Let me see, around. So he bought to open for 428 and sold it for 465 on the 27th. So I disagree with that one. I wish Kevin would have left that alone and left it on and just let it go, and just to show you guys. And I had argued a little bit, said why don't we just set it for like a 20%? I just feel like you know, it's not really serving its purpose just a bit to excuse me, just to book a quick profit like that when we're really looking for protection throughout, not just last week, but this week, and just this period of time in the year. So let's see. Let's just look at where it's trading right now. So even with an uppish day, it's trading. This is the 185 strike Novembers. That's the one that we put on. And it's trading at 518. Could have had another 10% move there. And even yesterday, it looked even better. So, I mean, usually Kevin and I, we agree, we argue a lot, and it kind of helps us both make better decisions and improve the overall process that we use. And that is one, though, I wish he would have just left alone. So what I'm going to suggest is, since we do have a bit of a bounce today, even though it's a little more expensive than last week when I'd put it on, I'm going to suggest that you could still get into this and have that protection there if you need it. Hopefully some of you have put it on, and I would assume that you followed Kevin's limit order to get to book a profit there, and that's fine if you did. You don't have to put it back on, but if you're still looking to do that, I would still recommend putting that one together. And all you're looking to do is again, I've got my pointer. There we go. All you're looking to do is 185s, which is at the money. You could go down, and I believe when we did this, it was trading up at 188, closer to 187.88. So we did get a better price, a little cheaper price. You could make the argument of doing that maybe 184 to get around that same price, but I kind of like the idea of being closer to money now at this point. If volatility spikes back up, you know, you're going to be fine. We do have a reprieve. If you look over here, this is our volatility, down 4% today, which certainly is going to make it a little cheaper and better when volatility kicks back up again. So if you can get around $5 for this one, I'd say go for it. Just leave it on for a little bit. I would try and get it on today. If hopefully we can get this video emailed out, and hopefully some of you can get into it. If you're not, at this point, it's okay if you're not. We've already kind of made that fall. We should have had it on last week when I originally suggested it. Would have been the best solution, and where you would have seen the best protection, obviously before things started to fall. But with that said, I still think we end lower tomorrow on Friday, and I still think we have some volatility through most likely next week as well. So certainly not a bad idea if you want to go ahead with this one today. I've left it up here for a little bit. Hopefully you've been able to see it. Adjust your quantity according to how you feel. I think we just did one contract. That's $500. That's plenty of money at work where you can see it help you on a day that the market falls a bit. So check that out and go ahead and email if you have any questions. Again, I feel really bad that we had some technical problems. I was looking forward to hearing from you guys today. But that's kind of how it happens sometimes. And let's just see one more time where we're at with those. So this is the QQQ chart, and we're getting a little bounce, maybe on a support level. A bounce after a big couple of down days really is the best thing, or not the best thing, but I mean, what I am seeing rather. So if you did 185s, you're a little bit out of the money. I think that's a good one. I wouldn't go down to 184s now that I'm kind of looking at things, because I would assume if we do get some more down days, we're going to be testing at some point the 200-day moving average. So, I mean, we do have a bit of a support level here and certainly kind of bounced here at 182, but I wouldn't be surprised if at some point 180 or this 200-day 179.33 down here gets tested. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and take this screenshot off, maybe put the next one in. I was looking at possibly, man, I'm struggling with the highlighter here. Another one I was looking at, we had Baidu, 135 calls. We were looking to dollar cost average at $3.35. And obviously with this one, we never got filled this morning when things were down a bit. Unfortunately, we were like $3.41-ish cents. So it was super close. And obviously with everything I've mentioned, I would not suggest trying to pull the trigger now, hoping that we can at least get a little bit of dollar cost averaging before things head up. I would suggest again to wait and see what tomorrow looks like, and hopefully we could get closer to that 335, our limit order where we're set out. And you can see, let me see, Baidu. Open order. This is our open order for 335 to double up there on long calls and lower our cost basis once again. That one, I would just suggest setting that same limit, seeing if we get filled tomorrow, if things fall back down. And just to show you real quick, what does Baidu look like? So it's pushing again the 50-day moving average that it just struggles to get up above. And I would assume we would be back down around 100, but let's see. I do think just technically alone we're going to struggle to get above the 50-day at this point in time. So I wouldn't suggest pulling the trigger on that. Just set the limit order, again 335, and let that one go. I'll get this all written out and off to you guys. Hopefully we can get it out where you can see it before the market close, and we will go from there. But kind of nice to see one of my suggestions go well, and kind of pissed off at Kevin a little bit. You know, I say that a bit tongue-in-cheek, but you know, wish he would have left that one on. So there we go. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and glad we could at least get something going for you. Email us with questions, and hope to see you guys Monday. Take care.